Motion Portrait is a fairly easy way to animate a photo. It is an app that I have operating inside BlueStacks 5 on my desktop computer. You need to have a microphone connected before you start the app. I have an audio recording of my dad singing from 1968, and I thought, as I have very few photos of him, that I would try and bring the song alive. I started off by using a Head and Shoulders photo to animate the words of the song in Motion Portrait. When you open up Motion Portrait, click on the Home button and it will take you to the BlueStacks screen where you can select Media Manager, and that is where you import the file that you want to animate. I've already got it imported here, but if you haven't, you can import from Windows and bring it onto this page. Bearing in mind that Motion Portrait, or the version I have, actually flips the image horizontally when it's worked on it. So if you don't want that to happen, you need to flip it horizontally before you bring it into the Media Manager. And then into Motion Portrait, you select the MP button there, and then at the bottom in the center click on the gallery, and there's your image that you imported. Select that and it will open it in Motion Portrait, and there all you have to do is make sure that those little buttons around the mouth are on the actual opening part of the mouth, and also there's two buttons that go across the eyes as well. They look like they're in the right place here. Yes, they are. Click OK. And then you can select the camera in the center at the bottom, and as soon as you click that, it will start recording. Select the microphone icon to record your voice and record it. And when you've finished doing that, select the camera icon again and it will take it to the next page where you can save the image. But as I said, there it is flipped horizontally, but that doesn't matter. Click Save and then click the back arrow to go back and do the next part that you want to do. Once you've done all your bits, you can click on the Home button and go back to the Media Manager, and once you go inside Media Manager, all the images that you've recorded will be there. So all you have to do then is click Export to Windows and select all at the top there, and click Export to Windows again and select where you want it to go. And once you've done that, as soon as you select the folder, your files will instantly save to your desktop. And then best thing to do is to select them all again and click the trash can icon to delete them. You can then turn BlueStacks off if you have enough images and progress to the next stage. So the next stage is to import everything you're going to need into Premiere Pro. So the first thing to start with is whatever soundtrack you're using. That goes in first because you've got to make the other clips the same length. And my dad speaks of a red apple swinging on a tree. So I got a video of just that. And all I've got to do now is add that to the timeline and make it the same length as the soundtrack. So all I'm going to do to make it simple is copy and paste it and snip off the bit at the end that I don't need. And then that will be that bit done. So just select it, edit copy, edit paste, and then you get your razor blade tool and snip off the bit you don't want. There we go. That's it. Then delete that bit on the end And now we are ready for the next step. So we bring in our main photo and put it on top, and we've got to then scale it down and use the positioning left and right and up and down to get it to look exactly how we want it to do, which is quite straightforward. That's not looking too bad. And then when you're happy with that, all you need to do is extend it to the same length as the other two tracks. Okay, we're at the final step now, where we're building up the MP4s that we got from Motion Portrait and putting them in the right place on soundtrack, which is fairly straightforward to do. As you bring the clip onto your timeline, you'll see at the bottom where the sound part of it actually starts. So what you need to do is take the razor blade tool and snip that off there, and then you can put that in exactly the right spot. So we give that a snip, delete the bit we don't want, which is the bit before it, and then we right click on it and select unlink and delete the soundtrack bit there now, because we know the soundtrack is there. We're going to move it up like that. That's it. Now all we have to do is scale it to the same size as the previous ones I've done. So you select it, and I've kept a note of all the figures so I don't have to mess about, and I know that the left to right one is 453, the up and down one is 111, and the scale is 12. So if you now look, you can see we've still got a black band around the head there, and the way to get rid of that is to go into the effects panel and select Luma key and drag that onto the MP4 clip, and then go into the Luma key on the effect controls and change the threshold to 1, and that's all you do. Just do the same on every one. So that's all the MP4s from Motion Portrait added to the timeline now.
I wish I wore a great big red apple swinging on a tree, and every nice girl that passed by could take a bite at me.
So I'm now going to export this video, and then I'll be bringing it back in again into Premiere Pro, because there are a couple of things that I mentioned in the song that I want to add on, and I will then show you the finished result. So my dad mentioned in the song Let It Rain, so I downloaded a rain effect which you can easily get off of YouTube, and I added that onto the video at the appropriate point. And also he was holding a banjo on his knee, so I added that in as well. And here's the finished result. Thanks for watching.
I wish I wore a great big red apple swinging on a tree, and every nice girl that passed by could take a bite at me. Let it rain, let it pour, nothing worries me, for I go right on singing with a banjo on my knee.